Okay, this is Graphing Lesson 5. We're going to look at point slope. So our objectives here is that you can write the equation of the line when given a slope at any point. Before we wrote the equation of the line given a slope, but we needed the y-intercept, put it in that y equals mx plus b form. Well, I'm going to show you a way to do this without knowing the y-intercept. We can just know any point. Also, to be able to write the equation of the line when given 2 points. And finally, when lines are parallel or perpendicular, they have special properties that we'll look at as well. So here's how we're going to do most of this. We're going to use the point slope formula. And simply y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And this is if you're given a slope, and you're given some point, and that point is x1, y1. That's what you plug in for. So you plug in for the x1, y1, and the slope. So you're going to have the y and x is going to remain in there. In the very end, you'll end up solving for y, and you'll get that y equals mx plus b form. Okay. Example 1. Write the equation of the line with a slope of 7 containing the point 2, negative 4. Put a period there. So there are two things we need, a point and a slope. So if you can identify those two things within the problem, no matter what the problem gives you, if you can find a way to find the point and the slope, we can write the equation using the point slope. So we'll write that formula down. I recommend that you write that down every time, even if you know it. Well, I know this formula by heart, and I will still write it down every time. Plug it in. You may want to label. So we'll put a little label x1, y1 over the point, and then it just becomes plugging it in or substituting these values in. So y1 is negative 4, so we put the negative 4 in for y1, and then x is 2, so plot 2 in for x. We simplify a little bit, so we have y minus negative 4, y plus 4, and then we can distribute the 7 onto both terms to get 7x minus 14 on the right side. We're then going to subtract 4 from both sides. So 4's cancel on the left side. We're left with y equals 7x minus 18. And that's the final answer. We will most always solve for y in these equations. Example 2. Find the equation of the line with a slope of 3 that contains the point, or sometimes they'll say passes through the point, 2, 4. So I want you to pause the video here and see if you can do this one from start to finish. Did you pause it? I know you did. Okay, so we're going to write the formula down. There are two things we need. We need to have a point and a slope. We identify those, right? That's pretty clear. Sometimes it can be obscured a little bit, but it's pretty straightforward here. We're given a slope and a point, and so we're going to use the point slope formula. So y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And now plug it in. So let's label this point 2, 4 is x1, y1. So we have y minus y1, which is 4, equals m, which is 3, x minus x1, which is 2. Now solve for y. So we'll distribute the 3 onto both terms. So y minus 4 equals 3x minus 6. We'll add 4 to both sides. And I'll get y equals 3x minus 2. And that's the final answer. And we can kind of check this, right? We look back at the original problem. Does this work out? Slope of 3, we've got a slope of 3. And let's plug in our point. So our point is, we have a x coordinate of 2, y is 4. So we can say, does 4 equal to 3 times 2 minus 2. 6 minus 2, yep, is 4. So we're pretty confident we got it right. Example 3. Write the equation of the line in y equals mx plus b form. It's also called slope-intercept or y-intercept form. Slope of 2/3 contains the point 6, negative 4. Again, pause the video. See if you can do this one on your own. Welcome back. Okay, so we have our slope of 2/3, point of 6, negative 4. We're going to use our y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So write it down. So we'll say y minus, and let me go ahead and label these, x1, y1. So y minus a negative 4, sometimes we'll put that in parentheses, equals m, which is 2/3, x minus x1, which is 6. simplify. So we can do y plus 4 equals, and let's distribute the 2/3. So it'll be 2/3 x minus, now this is 2/3 times 6, right? So let me remind you how to do that. 2/3 times 6. 3 goes in the 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, one step away. Solving for y again, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. So I get y equals 2/3 x minus 8. And again, we can check this. We got a slope of 2/3 and plug in your point. I'll let you do this. -4 equal 2/3 times 6 minus 8. And it does. Example 4. So write the equation in line with the following characteristics. So slope of 1/2 contains the point -3, 4. Okay, pause the video. See if you can do one of these. We're doing several examples here. They're all pretty much done the same way. So we have y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Plug in your slope and your point. So there's x1, there's y1. So y minus y1 is 4 equals m, which is 1/2, x minus a -3. Okay, so let's say plus a positive. So y minus 4, nothing to clean up on the left. We'll distribute through this 1/2. So I'll have 1/2 x plus 3/2, right? Okay, I had to clean up that 3/2. Now we're going to add 4. Cancel everything. Let's bring it back up here. So we'll have y equals 1/2 x. Now 3/2 plus 4, you need to get a common denominator. So which is going to be 2, right? So this is going to be the same thing as 3/2 plus 8/2, which is 11/2. And I'll leave that up to you to check. Okay, write the equation in line with the following characteristics. Slope of 3 contains the point 4, -1. Again, do one of these on your own if you haven't done it yet. This one's not hard compared to the other ones. It doesn't have any fractions in it. All right, welcome back. Okay, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Plug in your point. So there's x1, y1. Y minus a -1 equals m, which is 3, x minus 4. We get that, plugging it in. We'll say plus a positive over here. We'll distribute the 3 through. So we'll have y plus 1 equals 3x minus 12. One more step. Subtract 1, subtract 1. So I'll get y equals 3x minus 13. Okay, so this is a key concept that you can do, that you can write the equation of a line when you're given a slope and given a point. Okay, now we have something a little different. There are still two things we need. We need to have a point and a slope. Am I given a point? Yes, I'm given 2 points. It doesn't matter which one I choose for my equation. Am I given a slope? No, but I can find the slope, right? We've already had a lesson on slope, and we can just use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we can label these points and plug them in. So -6 minus 4 over 3 minus 1. Reminding you, it's x1, y1, x2, y2, and we could have switched the order of those. We could have called the first point x2, y2. Doesn't matter. Simplify in the top and the bottom, you get a -5. Now we have it. Now we have our slope. Choose any point you want and use pointSlope. So y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. I chose the first point. You know, if one point has a fraction and the other one doesn't, I'll choose the one without a fraction. If one point has a 0 in it, the other one doesn't, I'll choose the one with a 0. This one, they are about the same, so I just chose the first one. And then simplify as we've done before. Distribute the negative 5 through, and then add 4 to both sides, and you'll get it. Okay, see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, so we have the slope. We plug the slope in. Find the slope of negative 1/2. My animation's a little messed up here, but that's okay. So you first find the slope. And we got our slope of negative 1/2. Fractional slope, but not that big a deal. We work with it. You're going to take that slope and plug it right in for m. And your y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Now here I have a choice. I can choose this first point if I want, or the second point. Now why did I choose the second point? Right, it's got the 0 in it. It just makes the math come out a little bit easier. We'll get exactly the same answer if we choose the first point. So y minus 0 equals m, which is negative 1/2, x minus negative 1. Simplify it, and we get negative 1/2 x minus 1/2. So parallel and perpendicular lines. So lines that are parallel have exactly the same slope. It's important to know, and I think that is reasonable, right? Lines that are perpendicular, this is a little bit harder to intuit, but their slopes are called negative reciprocals of each other. That is, m1 equals negative 1 over m2. So for instance, if I had a slope, two lines that are perpendicular, and one line had a slope of 2/3, what would a line that's perpendicular to that one be? What would the slope of that line be? Good, negative 3/2. So the slope of the other one would be negative 3/2. They're negative reciprocals of each other. You just flip the base. Let's do one more. What if my slope had been 6? What would the slope of a line perpendicular to that be? I flip it. This is over understood 1. We don't usually write it that way. And I change the sign, so negative 1/6. Another way to think of it is the product of these two is negative 1. Either way you think of it's fine. So how are we going to use this fact? So write the equations of the line. So write the equation of the line that's parallel to y equals 3x plus 4 and contains this point. So these are not easy problems. But if you break it down into what we need, they're not that bad. So again, we just need two pieces, right? So if you focus on the two pieces we need a point and a slope, and go from there, I think you'll get it. So what's the point? 5, negative 2. And what's our slope? Well, my line is parallel to this line. So I need to find what's the slope of this line, and then my line's the same one. Now remember, when these are solved for y, it's y equals mx plus b. The slope is that number right beside the x. So the slope of that line is 3. Identify your point, 5, negative 2, and then just use your point slope and plug it in and solve it out. So see if you can. This next one is going to be perpendicular. So write the equation line that contains the point 8, negative 3 and is perpendicular to the line y equals 4x plus 2. Again, identify those two pieces and see what you can do. Welcome back. I know you're pausing these videos. You'll get a lot more out of them if you do. So my slope is negative 1/4, right? Because the slope of this line is 4. My line is perpendicular to this line. So the slope of my line is the negative reciprocal of 4, which is negative 1/4. Did you get that? Okay, the point is 8, negative 3. Now you're just going to plug everything into the point slope. So y minus y1, so y minus negative 3 equals negative 1/4, x minus 8. And then solve for y. Y plus 3 equals, we'll distribute that negative 1/4 through. Don't be careful with your signs. Make sure negative 1/4 times a negative 8 is positive 2. We'll subtract 3 from both sides, and we get negative 1/4 x minus 1.